Well, I have a wonderful electronic invention I want you to see.
This is James Mathers at NAB 2019 for the Digital Cinema Society and Studio Daily. I'm here in the Sony booth, and my friend Keith Vidger is going to tell us about some updates to the Venice.
Hey Jim, how's it going? Okay, so new for NAB this year essentially is a whole cadre of updates for the Venice camera. The Venice itself is of course right behind us over here. The camera's been well accepted over the last year and is now potentially doing the majority of primetime shows that are out there. It's got countless features under its belt. So in the last year, it's really gone through an enormous growth spurt, essentially, and doing all kinds of great things. One of the big things we'll say is Avatar. There's other productions too that are in need of a compact method to get the lens and imaging system as small as possible so it can be used in a variety of very small applications, from 3D rigs to inside cars or cockpits or planes and all that kind of stuff. So one of the great things about the Venice is the optical block can be removed and put into a smaller housing. When it combined with small lenses, now it gives you a pretty small footprint about where the camera itself can be used. So traditional Venice right over here in a normal configuration, but remove the optical block, put it into the special housing, which we like to call the Rialto, and now we have this little unit right here. So the Rialto itself is really just an empty shell into which the optical block goes. So you can see the cable comes out of this. It's a copper connection, we'll say, that goes all the way back to a plug that represents the other end of the Rialto, which takes the place of the optical block. So no optical block inside the camera right now. Of course, it's all inside the extension unit. 9-foot range comes standard, but it can go up to 18 feet if you want to. So the main body is still set aside. It's still doing the recording. We've got the ability for it to record 4K video, 4K XOCN. It's got all the other great functions. But now the actual optical block is inside this small housing here. Just about any size lens you want to put on there, you can. As you know, PL mount native, plus also an E mount is inside. Just about any number of adapters to go to just about any kind of lens you can think of. All that stuff's available for you. Super cool and compact. This lens is a little bit bigger if you want, or you might want for certain applications that are super compact, but if you were to put it in a smaller configuration as you could think of, you could even put it something as small as an easy rig. And if we were to take a look at Lyle over here, who's joined us at NAB from Savannah College of Art and Design, we've got the exact same configuration, but with a smaller lens built out with some great accessories from our friends at Wooden Camera and Teradek and all that. And now we've got a nearly weightless, little joke, configuration whereby you can go all day long, as Lyle's been doing all that, and super easy, great flexibility. There's almost no place it can't go if you stripped it down as small as possible, or situations like this where you'd say breeze. I would say been pretty easy for you during the course of the show?
Yes, been no problem. I've been wearing it a couple hours on and off each day. I don't feel sore at all, so yeah, pretty lightweight.
So one of the benefits of the Venice that we'll say relates to its optical pathway is the fact it has 8 built-in neutral density filters, actual glass filters. These 8 built-in ND filters are things that will actually follow the optical block with it into the Rialto extension unit. So all remote-controlled 8 steps of ND filtration are inside the Rialto itself, can do just about anything, again, remotely controlled from not only the traditional method, which is, we'll say, an RJ45 Ethernet connection. There's also Wi-Fi connectivity that's new for the show. We've also got traditional Sony remote control panels, we call RCPs, that you can use to control the, we'll say, generic functions of the camera, you know, frame rate, color temperature, things like that, but also those great built-in ND filters as well.
You keep coming up with firmware updates, so the camera's constantly being updated, right?
Very much so. There is always feedback coming. The more often the camera gets used on a greater variety of applications and shows and projects, the more feedback comes our way about, you know, features and functionality that would be helpful to those kinds of shows, and so therefore the new updates come down the pike. One of those new updates is going to be coming out around Cine Gear, and it'll show off the capability for high frame rate on the camera. So now we're talking about 120 frames per second for 4K, and even if we do a full frame mode, 6K full frame mode, we can do 60 frames per second. And of course, we're recording that to the built-in AXS cards inside the camera, and as we said before, we've also got S/S cards. So S/S cards going inside here, recording up to 4K video. And in the back, we've got 4K XAVC going into AXS cards. But the ability, because there's 2 slots for one card to fill up and then spill over, as I like to say, to the second card, giving you essentially all the perpetual unlimited recording time as long as you keep switching the cards out. There's even a new codec for the XOCN family, which is the super high quality mode, we'll call it the XT.
It all comes with firmware.
Exactly. So in some cases, the firmware is at no cost for new functions and functionality and fun stuff like that. Other times, for example, the high frame rate or the anamorphic capability of the camera, the full frame capability, there's a license fee that goes with that firmware.
That looks like a great camera. I'm eager to try it.
Fantastic, cool. Good to see you.